Happening now, a man has been convicted for assaulting doctors and nurses at a Jamestown hospital, and an update on efforts to memorialize an area teenager hit and killed by an allegedly impaired semi-truck driver. Plus, a new partnership is brewing between a local educator and former Buffalo Bill that aims to help kids with disabilities.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Those stories and more are coming up. But first, a Jamestown man has been convicted of assaulting doctors and nurses at UPMC Chautauqua Hospital. On Tuesday, the Chautauqua County District Attorney's Office announced James Morris was convicted of second-degree felony assault in connection with the crime. While a patient at the hospital, prosecutors said Morris attacked several doctors and nurses simply trying to provide care during an incident in October 2020. DA Jason Schmidt released a statement saying, in part, "Our medical staff work tirelessly to help the injured and sick of our community. Those persons who attacked and hurt them will be held accountable." As a result of the conviction, Morris was sentenced to 4 years in state prison plus 3 years of parole supervision. And 2 people were arrested during dual drug raids and a traffic stop in Jamestown this week. On Monday, the Jamestown Police Department executed 2 consecutive search warrants at 144 Park Street, the lower apartment, and 116 Park Street, the upper. At both locations, detectives recovered 11 grams of fentanyl, 500 grams of cocaine, a quantity of U.S. cash, currency, and drug packaging materials. 21-year-old Jeremy Masonette and 22-year-old Carly's Red Eyes were taken into custody. Red Eyes inside of one of the apartments with her small child and Masonette during a traffic stop near Jamestown High School just after the raids. Masonette, police tell us, will be facing federal drug charges following a further investigation. Well, the rash of catalytic converter thefts continue across our region as criminals look to cash in on the valuable rare earth metals inside. However, thanks to quick police work, law enforcement here in Chautauqua County, they allegedly caught one would-be theft red-handed. On Monday, Amanda Sendall was taken into custody during a trespass in progress call on Webster Road in the town of Portland. Now, the catalytic converter part is made of highly valuable metal, some priced at up to $20,000 per ounce, which has led to the increase in thefts around our area. Following an investigation, deputies accused the Gary residents of attempting to cut out a catalytic converter from a vehicle there on that property. In addition, the 36-year-old was allegedly found with a small quantity of methamphetamine on her person. She also had an active arrest warrant for criminal possession of a weapon. Settle was taken into custody and to Chautauqua County Jail. She faces several charges, including trespass, criminal mischief, and criminal possession of a controlled substance. Now, if you remember, last fall, New York State passed legislation to combat the rise in catalytic converter thefts. Well, plans to permanently memorialize a teenage girl who was killed during a hit-and-run crash with a semi-truck in Jamestown over 1 year ago, now coming to fruition. Our Bronson Rasmussen joins us live in the newsroom with more on what community members have done so far, Bronson, to memorialize the late teen.
Justin, community member Missy Paternitti hosted a benefit over the weekend to help raise funds for a park bench and picnic table honoring the 15-year-old Alexis Lexi Hugan, who was killed in a tractor-trailer hit-and-run crash on New Year's Eve of 2021.
A beautiful donation was given by the Kendall Club, and we were able to raise, with donations, $5,072.
Now that funds have been acquired, the next step is to purchase equipment and find an appropriate spot in Dow Park, just feet away from where the tragedy took place.
So from this point on, we're gonna wait for the benches to come in. The city will put them in. They will be cemented into the park. And then from that point on, we will figure out what we want to do with the rest of the money. There's a nice chunk of change still left over.
In addition to the memorial, Paternitti would like to see changes made to truck routes within city limits.
Any truck that has come through the city of Jamestown and made that turn on that corner where that young girl died should have never been there.
Now the alleged driver of the tractor-trailer, Randall Rolson, is also accused of causing another fatal accident in early December. He was hospitalized last month following that collision. Live in the newsroom, Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
All right, Bronson, thank you very much for that update. Well, Jamestown lawmakers, they have put video conferencing into action with the one council member who was on vacation this week zooming in to Monday night's voting session meeting. City Councilman at Large Jeff Russell, he was out of town for that voting session, but due to that ordinance, he's allowed to participate and vote now in remote video conferencing. The process states that council members can call in either on the phone or in this case through Zoom to the meeting. For it being the first time the system was rolled out, there were a few small glitches, but overall things seem to have gone pretty smoothly.
You know, he didn't want to miss the meeting, especially because it was a voting session, so he's able to because the state has allowed that now, and we passed that resolution a month ago. So that gives us an opportunity to be able to do that so people can still participate in the meetings and be there. And so, again, we'll work through the glitches and make sure that it's a little bit easier, but we'll get used to it.
Now, that local law that allows the streaming and video conferencing, it was voted on and approved at the end of December. So much taking place virtually today. What a great resource for those officials. Well, now let's switch gears and get a first check of our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Andrew Stevenson joining us live today in person here, Andrew, in studio. And definitely today is a good day, though. I mean, if you can work from home, why not? It's pretty cold out there, especially early on in the morning.
Sunshine and that beach behind him. I don't know where that was, but I want to be there. Right now over downtown, or right now over Mayville, the Lakeside Park, we got a few flurries out there with cloudy skies. First offense Doppler radar shows some light lake effect snow showers across the region, mainly across northern Chautauqua, Cattaraugus, and southern Erie County. That lake effect snow band will begin to taper off through the rest of the afternoon out there. The high yesterday was 22 degrees, the low was 9 degrees. The records for today, 58 was the record high set back in 1989 and the record low of -10 set back in 1948. So for the rest of the afternoon out there, a couple snow flurries, otherwise mostly cloudy skies. Some areas might break into partial sunshine this afternoon like we saw yesterday. Highs today will range in the low to mid-20s out there. Now have a look at the snowfall totals so far this season, and if you haven't seen, we haven't had much snow this season.
Yeah.
I'll have that look at those totals coming up in full forecast detail.
All right, Andrew, thank you very much. As we roll along this half hour, we'll tell you about a new severe weather alert system that's proposed for snowstorms here in our region. And later, while New York's governor has vetoed a law aimed to expand wrongful death lawsuits. Stay with us. WNY News Now is back after this.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
Looking for a fair and honest auto mechanic? Look no further than Dwyas Auto Service. Located at 140 Main Street in Randolph, our family-owned business is ready for all of your automotive needs. From general service to more complex repairs, count on Dwyas Auto to keep you on the road. We not only keep your cars running smoothly, but also looking great with our expert detailing crew. Send us a message on Facebook or call us today at 716-358-2292 to set up an appointment. Dwyas Auto Service. Fair, honest, and the best prices guaranteed.
Have you ever wanted to live out your dreams? Hunt, fish, in all corners of the earth? Well, now's your chance. Follow Primitive Patriot Outdoors as we live out our dreams and show you how to live out yours through outdoor adventures. From Western New York to Africa to all corners of the earth, follow us on this adventure. It's an experience you've never seen before. Lead and Lures, Roku TV, Channel 716.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
So you think you can cook? We're looking for chefs ready to test their skills, competing in a charity cooking show competition that features a platter of unusual ingredients, including popular local cuisine. Judged by a panel of local celebs, chefs are tested in 3 rounds before a winner is crowned. So you think you can cook? Register online at stsusancenter.org. Produced by Channel 716. All proceeds raised benefit the St. Susan Center in Jamestown, New York.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
A Western New York county is making a change in the wake of last month's brutal winter storm. More than 40 people died in the Christmas snowstorm that struck Erie County in early January. On Tuesday, officials announced they plan to create an emergency alert system to warn residents of incoming severe weather. The alerts will be similar to Amber Alerts, hitting phones, televisions, radios, and other devices. The county will also work on creating a rating system for blizzards. They say their system will be similar to the one used for hurricanes. The ratings will be based on National Weather Service information and will use it to help warn the public about a blizzard's severity. Well, Damar Hamlin is teaming up with the American Heart Association on a new CPR initiative. The Buffalo Bills safety announced the partnership in a video shared on social media Tuesday. According to Hamlin, he and the AHA are launching 3 for Heart CPR challenge, which follows, 3 steps. 1, participants must watch a video on the association's website to learn hands-on CPR. 2, they must take a donation to the AHA to fund a CPR education training. And 3, ask a friend to do the same. Hamlin launched the initiative by challenging LeBron James, Tom Brady, and Michelle Obama. He says the aim of the challenge is to increase CPR awareness and education. Well, some lawmakers and advocates, they are calling on Governor Kathy Hochul to extend New York's paid family leave to include birthing parents of stillborn babies. Today, our New York Capitol correspondent Elise Klein breaks down this legislation and hears from advocates about the impact they think it could have on New York.
For almost a decade, Samantha Palermo has faced infertility until October of 2021, when she got the most exciting news of her life. She was finally pregnant. 8 months later, Palermo says one day she didn't feel her baby boy moving. After going to the hospital, she heard the doctor say the words she says are every mother's worst nightmare. Your baby doesn't have a heartbeat. She went through labor for 2 days in the hospital and delivered her baby, Archer Lawrence, stillborn. She went home devastated and brokenhearted. She called into work a few days later to start her paid family leave. She says they told her she was ineligible because she didn't have a child to bond with.
I hung up the phone and I kept saying to myself, this can't be my life. This can't be my life. I was denied money to heal and pay my bills.
Palermo went back to work just 4 weeks after giving birth. Her doctor suggested 6 to 8 weeks to fully heal from her labor, but Palermo says she couldn't afford it. Currently in New York State, paid family leave is available to both birth parents of a newborn child for 12 weeks, not including stillbirth parents. And some lawmakers want to change that.
It's important that families, mothers and fathers, have the ability to grieve, to heal with dignity and respect after the loss of a stillborn child.
This session, lawmakers reintroduced a bill that would amend workers' compensation law to provide family leave following a stillbirth. The bill would include recovering after a stillbirth a qualification for family leave.
The mother of a stillbirth child also needs the time to grieve the loss of her baby. These women deserve to be seen and to be included in the paid family leave law of our state.
In Albany, Elise Klein, WNY News Now.
Elise, thank you. New York's governor has vetoed a bill that would have allowed wrongful death lawsuits to include claims for emotional damage, a change that could have led to much bigger payouts for fatal accidents and deadly medical errors. The bill, which had strong bipartisan support when it passed the legislature last year, would have brought New York into line with the majority of other states that allow courts to consider emotional pain when calculating how much a lost life was worth. Under current state law, the amount someone can get in a wrongful death lawsuit in New York is largely determined by the potential future income of that person who died, a cold calculation that values the life of a person based on their high-paying job far more than someone who maybe was making minimum wage. The rulings usually mean lower payouts for the deaths of older people whose working years are behind them and for children whose future earning potential is unknown. In a letter to the state Senate explaining her veto, Hochul said the bill's goal were laudable, that legislation had passed without enough evaluation for its potential impact on small businesses and the state's healthcare system. Coming up next, we're checking in with the funeral for Tyree Nichols as our nation still reels from the police brutality that claimed his life. And later, we explain the high hopes of a Jamestown teacher looking to partner with an NFL player to help those with developmental disabilities. But first, when we return, Andrew joins us once again with a full look at our weather and this bone-chilling cold that's now starting to set in. Luckily, I hear only temporarily.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
So you think you can cook? We're looking for chefs ready to test their skills, competing in a charity cooking show competition that features a platter of unusual ingredients, including popular local cuisine. Judged by a panel of local celebs, chefs are tested in 3 rounds before a winner is crowned. So you think you can cook? Register online at stsusancenter.org. Produced by Channel 716. All proceeds raised benefit the St. Susan Center in Jamestown, New York.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
lights,
vests,
please give us some room.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
When you need help,
it's our job
to help you.
To save you.
Despite the danger.
This danger is real.
Do your part.
Please.
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
Move over.
WNY News Now is covering stories that matter to you.
15-year-old Yadiel Diaz was subject to a public humiliation stunt by a fellow student in an act of violence and bullying. Now Yadiel's mother, Raquel, has had enough.
Officials are trying to work with the county's homeless coalition to help support the homeless population locally. There are also plans in the works to build 2 new shelters.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Welcome back to WNY News Now. Currently in downtown Jamestown, a couple flurries out there with under mostly cloudy skies. Current temperature at the airport 19 degrees with a west wind of 16 mile per hour, wind gusts of 23, and that wind is making it feel like 4 degrees out there. So now that we are into the month of February, let's take a look at where we are in snowfall. We're actually well below average where we should be. We should be around 61.9 inches of snow. They were at 31.6 inches, so that's a difference of almost 30 inches of snow below where we should be. We might get a couple inches on Friday, but other than that, it doesn't look like we're going to be making up that deficit anytime soon. Here's what's happening across the northeast right now. Just got some light lake effect snow showers streaming off the lakes. High pressure moving by to our south should provide us with partly sunny skies for tomorrow. Then our next sweater maker is an Arctic cold front that's hiding behind the banner up there, and that's going to drop through the region heading into tomorrow night and into Friday. Some very cold temperatures. For the rest of the afternoon out there, just some light snow showers, otherwise mostly cloudy skies. Some areas might be able to break into partly sunny skies this afternoon, and then we'll go partly to mostly cloudy skies heading into the night. And then as we head into the day tomorrow, looks like we might go partly to mostly sunny skies for the day tomorrow before that Arctic cold front drops by the region, and that will drop by from north to south starting tomorrow evening. A burst of moderate to heavy snow, a couple inches out of that, and then some light lake effect snow showers for Friday. But the big thing for Friday will be the cold temperatures, as the temperatures combined with the wind will make wind chills -10 to -15 below zero. That's what it's going to feel like outside at 10 o'clock Friday morning. Again, -10 to -15, so make sure you bundle up as we head into Friday. But the good news is these cold temperatures are not lasting long, as we return back to the low 20s on Saturday with partly to mostly cloudy skies. Sunday will go to low 30s with a mix of rain and snow showers, and then as we head into next week, by the time Tuesday rolls around, we might be in the low 40s, so the cold air not lasting long.
Yeah, no, certainly good news for those who want to try to enjoy winter while we got it, because this is definitely unbearable for so many. Andrew, thank you. Well, let's get some headlines from around the nation. And President Biden, he announced yesterday plans to end the COVID public health emergency in May. It's a symbolic shift that means changes for people needing COVID testing and treatment. The announcement from the president was in part a response to House Republican proposals relating to the pandemic, specifically Republicans calling to end the emergency declaration as soon as possible and eliminate the COVID vaccine mandate for healthcare providers.
Under the guise of COVID-19, Democrats' authoritarian policies weaponized the federal government, forced unconstitutional vaccine mandates, and cost hundreds of billions in waste and abuse of Americans' hard-earned taxpayer dollars.
Now, House Republicans say it's been 2 long years of Democrats' power-grabbing policies, and their goal this week is to pass legislation relating to COVID. The Biden administration argues an abrupt end to the emergency declaration would create wide-ranging chaos and uncertainty throughout the healthcare system. Officials add that under a public emergency, the Medicaid program operated under special rules to provide extra funding to states to ensure that tens of millions of vulnerable people kept their Medicaid coverage during the pandemic. Last month, Congress enacted an orderly lessening of these rules to ensure patients don't lose access to their care unprecedentedly and state budgets don't face a radical cliff. Now, Democrats do go on to argue that the severity of the pandemic has shifted, acknowledging that for the most part, people are back to their normal routines. And they argue that the federal agencies, as well as folks in everyday lives, need to understand what the declaration coming to an end means. Well, the funeral for Tyre Nichols is taking place Wednesday at a church in Memphis, just weeks after his fatal encounter with police. This tragedy, just the latest to shine a spotlight on police brutality. The service for Nichols will not only be attended by friends and family, but by civil rights leaders and relatives of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, who both died at hands of police in 2020. Ivan Rodriguez has more.
My brother was filled with energy. He was like the light of the room.
The legacy of Tyre Nichols is everywhere, according to his brother.
He was really a people person. You know, he was a people pleaser. The world's gonna miss a person like that.
29-year-old Nichols died 3 weeks ago after being beaten, tased, and pepper sprayed by Memphis police during a traffic stop on January 7th. The fatal encounter all captured on camera.
They treated my brother like an animal. They beat on him like he was nothing.
5 former Memphis police officers are facing second-degree murder charges in connection with his death. Prosecutors say they're looking at everyone involved and believe firmly in their case.
We're confident that we'll be able to prove every element of every of those offenses charged to a jury beyond a reasonable doubt.
2 additional officers were placed on leave and 3 Memphis Fire Department personnel were fired. Civil rights leaders now demanding action, accountability, and change nationwide in the face of yet another death at the hands of law enforcement.
We are going to continue to fight this fight around police brutality and killing. until we get federal laws changed.
While a grieving family prays for justice,
we got a long fight ahead of us. That's right. And we got to stay strong for it.
And prepares to lay their loved one to rest. In Memphis, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Actor and producer Alec Baldwin has been formally charged in the 2021 fatal shooting on the movie set Rust. The Santa Fe County, New Mexico District Attorney is bringing the charges. They're against Baldwin and the set's armorer, who include 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Attorneys for both defenses previously insisted their clients are innocent. The death resulted in a lot of national publicity here. The DA accusing them of failing to perform safety procedures which could have prevented the death of cinematographer Hannelyn Hutchins. In fact, probable case documents of Baldwin indicate that he did not take his firearm training seriously. Armorer Hannah Gutierrez says that they only spent about 30 minutes instead of the recommended hour in that training. Well, coming up next, a Jamestown teacher is expanding efforts to help youth here in our community, partnering with the ex-Buffalo Bill.
With coverage that matters, you're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
So you think you can cook? We're looking for chefs ready to test their skills, competing in a charity cooking show competition that features a platter of unusual ingredients, including popular local cuisine. Judged by a panel of local celebs, chefs are tested in 3 rounds before a winner is crowned. So you think you can cook? Register online at stsusancenter.org. Produced by Channel 716, all proceeds raised benefit the St. Susan Center in Jamestown, New York.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
Have you ever wanted to live out your dreams? Hunt, fish, in all corners of the earth? Well, now's your chance. Follow Primitive Patriot Outdoors as we live out our dreams and show you how to live out yours through outdoor adventures. From Western New York to Africa to all corners of the earth, follow us on this adventure. It's an experience you've never seen before. Lead and Lures, Roku TV, Channel 716.
A nationwide group dedicated to giving youth with developmental disabilities the chance to partake in sport could soon be expanding to Chautauqua County, as Julia Gress explains.
Last year, a local educator walked from Jamestown to Highmark Stadium to raise money for 2 worthy causes, including Harrison's Playmakers. Now this educator, Patrick Smeraldo of Collaborative Children's Solutions, wants to expand Harrison's Playmakers into Chautauqua County.
What Harrison Phillips and his board have built, now not in just Western New York, he has a great group in Western New York, he's also in Omaha, Nebraska, and he's establishing his group in Minneapolis because he's a Viking. I can't replicate that. I can't do what he did in those 3 cities, but what I can do is help him expand into Chautauqua County, and that's realistically the goal.
The group gives kids with developmental differences and special needs the opportunity to play sports and share experiences they would likely not otherwise have. While Harrison is away, 3 Buffalo Bills help fill in for events: Reggie Gillum, Quentin Morris, and Tommy Doyle.
He has a camp at the stadium in Buffalo in June, so I'd like to, the goal is, and they've told me, hey, we're going to get you a bus, bring us some kids. And, you know, those events that we could build upon, whether it's a much more focused event up there that I could get kids transported there, or they're actually in Chautauqua County doing those things, which he's mentioned.
This extension would add on to the list of services already available in the county, like the Special Olympics, the Resource Center, CESA, Unified Sports in Frewsburg, Southwestern, Fredonia, and Jamestown. Families who are interested in taking part are asked to contact Collaborative Children's Solutions on Facebook or via email to ccsolutions716@gmail.com. Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
All right, Julia, thank you. What a great collaboration, and knowing my friend Patrick, I'm sure it will come to fruition. Well, that is going to do it for us today. We'll leave you with this live look outside of our studio in downtown Jamestown. The news continues at WNYNewsNow.com. Have a great day.